The answer is who cares?
I'd like to know.
Well, Jimmy,
sure.
We have to get into the Jimmy thing. Jimmy had a huge weekend.
Yeah.
A couple good stories coming out of your weekend, huh?
Should
we start with Friday, I guess?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Well, there was two great stories. Friday was Babe Fest down there at WYSP.
Babe Fest.
The old home of, one of the homes of the Opie Anthony program.
That's
it was like
right.
our second home, Philly, I believe. And even Tim Sabian told me he so wished that we were still part of that radio station.
They've been great. Even since we got booted off, I mean, they've always been supportive of me and the show.
He runs a great radio station,
phenomenal.
I gotta tell you.
Yeah, he's great.
You could just hear it. You just could hear it when you tune in WYSP. Obviously, the commercial thing stinks.
That's not his fault, though.
No, obviously. And Tim Sabian's been yelling and screaming at the company, you got to get Opie and Anthony, as part of this thing again, but they're not listening. So they would rather just, die a slow death as satellite radio takes over the world. That's fine. Whatever. But Tim Sabian's trying to do his part. Anyway, so he invited you to be one of the judges at Babe Fest?
Yeah, I hosted it last year. It was me and Cousin Ed, who's the afternoon guy. And this year I was a judge with Florentine and some guy, Jesus, Hawk, you all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's fine.
What was that?
Some sneeze attack.
All right.
All right.
You look good in your baby blue shirt.
Thank you.
It's Periwinkle.
It's nice. So I'm co-hosting. I mean, I'm being a judge this year with Florentine and this guy Bam from MTV, who I had no idea who he was, and some.
You don't know Bam from
No
MTV?
idea. No idea.
He was on Jackass, and then he's got his own show where he
Viva La Bam?
Yeah, no, I
fucks
heard
with,
afterwards.
his
I
friends
heard.
and family.
Wouldn't have known him if he wound up in a buddy booth next to me.
Really?
Never heard of him.
Coincidentally enough.
He's kind of
Bam! There he was.
He's kind of big with the kids, Jimmy.
No, I'm sure he's very popular.
That's one of the biggies out there as far as the MTV culture goes.
Yeah.
No idea.
No?
So he was a judge, and
You really had no idea? That
No
amazes
clue.
me.
No.
Did you ever see Jackass?
Yeah, just the movie once. I never watched the show.
No?
He was one of the guys in the movie.
Oh. Who knows him?
All right.
I don't know. I'm a pop culture ass.
You really
Wow.
are.
I don't know. And Gene Simmons was the host with Cousin Ed, and
Right.
I had my little awkward
Gene.
run-in January with Gene.
Yeah, now there was a problem with Gene. Of course, our listeners know because they've heard the replay
Yeah.
a few times of you just ripping Gene apart. Yeah, we get it.
I was a lifelong Kiss fan
Yeah.
in childhood,
Uh-huh.
and we had interviewed him one day on the phone. I had met him a couple times, once with you guys years ago, and once with the rest of Kiss in the Garden. And he, we interviewed him one day, and then I see him in Vegas a week later, and I go, hey, I'm from the Opie and Anthony show, and Steve is with me. And he was pretty rude.
He was very rude.
And
You wanted a picture?
I said, hey, yeah, can I get a quick picture? He's like, oh, no, I can't take a picture now. I'm walking. And he kind of turned me down. He goes, you can walk with me. So I go to walk with him, and Yoshi's backing up at the camera trying to take a picture, and Gene wouldn't even look at me. I'm like, can we just take the picture real quick? And like, he's got a camera crew with him, and he wouldn't even acknowledge that there was a human being speaking to him.
What a cock. And the guy shouldn't have been given the time of day by you after that.
I was just furious. So I kind of went off on the air about it.
Kinda.
Yeah, I was a little upset. And that
A
was
little.
a day and a half or 2 days removed.
Yeah.
So in Philly, he's hosting this event. So I'm backstage. He has no idea who I am. He doesn't remember me. Of course, I bring the 2 pictures that I have with him to get signed. I'm like, let bygones be bygones. And he's actually very cool backstage. We're talking.
Oh.
He's very nice. He signs the pictures. He's friendly. He's talking to everybody backstage. He got me so good, too. I'm walking away. He goes, Jim? And I turn around. He goes, not you.
No.
Somebody asked him to do that, and he did. He got me really
Oh.
good. So,
Wow.
he was very cordial and just very accommodating. We talked about the Middle East a little bit and just chit-chatted because he had made those comments about Islam being an awful culture or whatever it was he said. So then they call us out on the stage. They introduced me. They introduced Florentine, Bam, and then Gene, the master of ceremonies, comes out. And the way Babe Fest is it's a bikini contest, basically. Is the host is in the middle of this massive stage, 3,000 people at the Electric Factory in Philly. And we're on these couches on the stage on the side, and we're going to judge the girls.
Uh-huh.
So Gene is filming a reality TV show. Got a camera guy with him. It says Gene's TV. If you don't want to be on TV, you'd have to sign a waiver saying it's okay to be on TV. So he comes out and he says hello, and he goes, if anyone doesn't want to be on my show, come up on the stage now. So all of a sudden he starts pointing to the middle of the room, and he goes, do you want to come up on stage? And I look, and there's this maniac in a red hat running towards the stage, and Gene's like, well, come on up here. So the kid's trying to jump up on the stage, and you hear poof. He breaks the stage light. It's like one of those fluorescent stage lights. He breaks it because it's like a long runway. It's the runway that Patty got the stuffed foreigner on.
The urine.
So this maniac runs around the runway to the other part of the stage to get on. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a fanatic.
Yeah.
He jumps up on the stage, and Gene walks over to him with the microphone. And then this kid starts walking towards me and pointing at me.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going, oh no. Oh, it's a pest.
Oh, no, a pest. Out of all those people.
In front of 3,000 people. Gene goes, yes, what do you want? And the guy goes, my friend Little Jimmy Norton likes to take celebrity pictures. Why wouldn't you take a celebrity picture with him? And I'm going, it's okay. He was nice to me backstage.
My friend
Dude, it was
okay.
And Gene's like, oh, Gene realized, I guess, that something had happened. So Gene grabs me by the hand, and he holds my hand and walks me to this.
Hold my hand, man.
It was all
Hold my hand, man. Oh, no.
It hurt my ego. He walks me to the middle of the stage, holding my hand. Little Jimmy Robinson would have been out of his mind with happiness.
Yes, that's exactly what he had kicked you. You know something? Figuratively speaking, this was your dream.
Yes.
He had kicked you down the stairs by not taking your picture in Vegas and being rude and nasty and treating you like that. He hurt you.
Yes.
Because you've been such a big fan.
And I was hurt.
And now was the time for him to cuddle you and make you feel better.
Make it all better.
And pat your head.
Well, it would have been nice if he had no idea what was going on. He's like, and Cousin Ed is panicking. Because he sees, like, this is a problem. This guy is not a fun fan. You know, this guy, is like, why wouldn't you take a celebrity picture? This just maniac just accusing Gene Simmons. So Gene walks me out to the middle of the stage, and he knows something's wrong, and he says to me, what happened? What? I'm like, well, I'm like, you blew me off in Vegas, but it was okay, because he was being
look at you, but it was okay.
I'm saying to the guy, like, dude, it's okay. He was nice backstage. Everything's okay. And Gene goes, what would you like me to do? I'm like, we can take a picture. Gene goes, okay, fine. Who's going to take it? And so we look at this one guy in the middle of the floor who's actually working for YSP. And we go to take the picture, and Gene puts his arm around me, and he puts his leg up in like a silly pose, and I hug him.
I see the picture right here.
Yeah, can we get that picture up on opieandanthony.com? We'll do that soon.
And, you see the silly little picture.
You're hugging him.
Yeah, because he put his leg up as a goof, so I hugged him, and the guys took the picture. And then the Gene goes, okay, and then the kid who's sitting now in my seat on the couch just starts going to Gene, and now I want an apology why you wouldn't walk with Jimmy when you said you would walk. Little son of a bitch wants an apology. I'm like, dude, it's okay. Everything's fine.
The guy's representing you.
Dude, Club Soda Kenny has to come and get him off the stage. It was nice.
And Kenny isn't very...
Well, Kenny just kind of shoved him off because Cousin Ed is having a stroke right now.
Yeah.
The kid's yelling, O&A party rock, as the kid pulls him off as Kenny pulls him off the stage.
Fucking pest.
He's just a lunatic. And then we go to like a break after like the band plays. They had a song to do after the first round. So Gene walks up to me and he goes, why would he think I'd ever mistreated you? I'm like, well,
Oh, I might have said something.
One time in Vegas, you were really busy, and I'm such a worm. I'm not gonna lie.
You are a worm.
I'm like, you kind of blew me off for a picture, and I mentioned it on the air,
just
casually mentioned on the air,
in passing.
And he was a fan. He's, and the fans are very protective, and they're very fierce fans, And Gene's like, well, he was a little crazy.
Gene doesn't understand fierce fans.
Well, he gets it. I mean, he was, because he goes, well, what happened? I saw he was going to be a problem. And I had to nip it right in the bud. Something like that spreads like wildfire. I'm like, what are you talking about? Exactly. He goes, well, when I mentioned that, if anyone doesn't want to be on TV, you have to come up on the stage. This kid's in the middle of the room looking at me and yelling, fuck you, Gene, fuck you. This maniac had been that's why Gene brought him on, because this lunatic was yelling, fuck you, and jamming his middle finger up at Gene Simmons. So this kid...
He wanted to stop it right there.
Oh, he knew this kid was a problem.
Yeah.
This kid embarrassed Gene Simmons from Kiss, a rock icon, in front of 3,000 people.
What
for
an
this
ass.
For a fat-titted sidekick from Jersey. So, Club Soda Kenny, I sent Kenny out to him. I'm like, make sure they didn't throw him out. And I said, like, thank him for me. And, just ask him, everything's cool. Don't do anything else. I don't want to get the kid in trouble.
Yeah.
And we got his information. I'm going to send him some stuff. And because I really did love the little bastard for doing it. I mean, it was really
hilarious.
Really moving that he did it. He defended me like that. But
certainly did.
It was so funny because Gene had been really nice to me backstage tonight, so he had no idea why he was being sandbagged by this.
He called you Little Jimmy Norton on stage.
Oh, yeah, he's like, little Jimmy Norton likes to take... And as soon as he walks over and I'm sitting there, because someone had told me you should come into YSP because Gene was going to be in that day, but I couldn't because I knew if I did, somebody would call up and go, why don't you ask Gene why he wouldn't take a picture with you?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't need that.
You wanted to avoid the whole thing.
Yeah, because I wanted to get the picture signed. You know,
meanwhile, it becomes a huge event.
Oh, like in front of the whole theater. It's packed. YSP event.
Yeah, it wasn't an Opie and Anthony event.
No.
No,
great.
this was for YSP, and they were just, poor cousin Ed.
There's some great pictures from Babe Fest.
Oh, the chicks were phenomenal. Just fantastic.
We should just send them over to YSP today, I guess. What's the website? 94WYSP.com if you want to see pictures from Babe Fest that Jimmy was a part of.
And anyone that has pictures of me and Gene Simmons, especially that blow, I would love to send me a large file because I would love to blow that up and hang it on my wall. That's a great shot.
Of course you would.
And there's video of that too, so hopefully we'll be able to get some video loaded up to Foundry.
Speaking of video, do we have video of the chick spitting in your mouth from Friday?
I don't know. Steve might have taken this.
Is that up on OpieandAnthony.com? We got some good.